From early in 1945, it was clear that Hitler's forces were on the point of collapse. After fighting their way across the whole of Western Europe, the Allies were now poised to take the final obstacle, the River Rhine, and beat the Germans on their own soil. That is not to say the final weeks of the war in Europe were easy. The advance to the Rhine, especially in the north, was hard fought, and to actually cross that formidable natural barrier required meticulous planning, drive and courage. But once breached, the river barrier was completely torn apart, opening the way for a rapid Allied advance deep into the heart of Germany, with Berlin as the ultimate goal. Once that city could be captured by the Allies, the heart of Hitler's 1,000-year Reich would be destroyed forever. And with British and American agreement, the forces of the Soviet army were allowed to conquer Berlin. And at 3:30 on the afternoon of April the 30th, with his world in total collapse and his physical and mental health fading rapidly, Adolf Hitler and his bride of a few hours, Eva Braun, retired to a suite in his bunker, never to emerge alive again. That evening, the red flag of the Soviet forces flew over the burnt-out ruins of Hitler's parliament building, the Reichstag, and within a few days, Field Marshal Montgomery received envoys on Lunenburg Heath to arrange the surrender of all the remaining German military personnel in Northern Europe. Following negotiations with the Supreme Allied Commander in Europe, General Dwight D. Eisenhower, at his headquarters in France, officers representing the German government finally capitulated fully. At 2:41 a.m., Monday the 7th of May, 1945, the war in Europe was over. Today, as we commemorate the historic events that took place over 70 years ago, it is impossible for the generations who have come after to imagine living through nearly 6 years of unremitting war. Only on the faces of the people who survived that terrible ordeal can you see the courage, tenacity and strength of character that it needed to overcome the hardships and defeat the forces of a fanatical dictator. Between September 1939 and May 1945, the ordinary men and women of Great Britain, our parents and grandparents, stood resolutely fast behind the ideals of democracy and freedom for all, and if necessary, were prepared to pay the ultimate sacrifice to preserve those rights for future generations to enjoy. In the end, the victory belonged to them.